Alrighty, and so I know this man has been foaming at the mouth. You should see all our private messages.
Yeah, we're talking to you.
To
I'm the only
discuss
man.
this
I'm the only
team.
man on the show.
So without further
I thought we
ado,
was bringing on a special guest.
Mr. Handy, please let
God
us
in
know
heaven,
how you
listen.
feel.
Tell us
I
about those
can't
Falcons.
say I can't. But how about them? I this so I can't say. Listen, this might be 30 seconds long because I can't say 95% of what I said in the chat on Sunday. But this is what I have to say. Arthur Blank, Mr. Blank, we done with you. Arthur Smith, go find a real barber, get a real haircut, and when you're down there, find a real football coach, bring him back and let him have your job. I don't know what the hell that was that you put on the field on Sunday. Desmond Ridder, actually, I'm not mad at Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder actually led the team down the field. I told y'all, consistently inconsistent. Either the defense is good or the offense is good. The two of them ain't working together. It's almost like um it's almost like a dysfunctional relationship where the husband is always after the wife and the wife don't want it, or the other way around. Or she's always cooking and he's never hungry. Or she likes to stay at home and he likes to go out. It's the same thing. For the last couple of weeks, the defense has been one of the best unit on the team, and they've been shutting teams down and bringing wins to the table. And this week, Desmond Ridder marches the team down the field, gives them the lead. The game was not on, so at least I didn't have to watch it. But I was watching the Google feed. You know how you do the thing, and it flips over, and you watch the little thing where the football moves, and it's like Desmond Ridder, 13-yard pass. Like I'm watching the thing, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm gonna put that down. I'm gonna leave that alone. I thought it was a wrap. Because we talk about Baker Mayfield. Now, Baker Mayfield's not a bad quarterback, but this is not the same Baker Mayfield that came in the league that thought he was going to kick the doors in and win a Super Bowl his first 2 years. This is Baker that got beat up in Cleveland for a while.
He got chewed on by a pit bull.
Seriously, he got chewed up and spit out and chewed up. And you know how sometimes, not to be too graphic, but a dog will get sick and come back to it and eat it again. That's how they did Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. And then they sent him
to wrong.
Wasn't he in Carolina? They sent him to Carolina, and then he's struggling in Carolina. Now he's in Tampa Bay, and it's almost like falling out of the frying pan, to use an old analogy, into the fire, because Tampa Bay, sorry, Johnny, those are my Tampa Bay Bucks friends that are part of the auxiliary parts of the Let's Talk Football family. Appreciate y'all for watching, if you're watching, or even if you're watching the replay later. Anyway.
Oh, they are. Like, Ben commented.
And so Baker Mayfield had, statistically, QBR notwithstanding, Baker Mayfield had his second worst performance of the season on Sunday. And the Atlanta Falcons defense that they had been writing stories about, the defense is coming to life, and Atlanta is leading the division. Atlanta is one of those teams that when they do something good, you have to look the other way. Because the minute that somebody says something good about Atlanta, they turn right around and mess it up. Atlanta is like your homeboy that's like, he got a crush on this girl, and he's like, yo, man, go talk to a girl for me, man. Go talk to a girl for me, man. And you're like, nah, man, I ain't gonna talk you up. Every time I talk you up, you do something dumb. No, I promise I ain't gonna do nothing dumb. And then you keep, he's like, all right, you don't do nothing dumb for 3 months. I'm gonna talk you up. He's like, all right, bet, got you. So 3 months, my man has got his stuff together, and he got his stuff together. It's like, all right, I think my man got his stuff together. The minute you go and say, hey, man won't holler at you real quick, next thing you know, you see the police leading them out of the school in handcuffs leading them out of the school in handcuffs because he stood up in the middle of class and called the teacher. You know what? She told him that 2 + 2 does not equal Jello. So that's exactly what the Atlanta Falcons are like. It's like, I was just getting ready to be like, okay, here come the Dirty Birds. Yeah, we're not going to win the Super Bowl, but we go into the playoffs. And then they messed around and got led out of the stadium with handcuffs on because they told the teacher 2 + 2 equal Jello, and the teacher said wrong. And I'm tired. I am so tired. Atlanta, y'all are about one loss away from losing a diehard lifelong fan. I played for a little league team called the Falcons.
No.
How could I grew up
No.
in Georgia? I played for a little league team called the Falcons. I got a picture of me in Facebook holding a little helmet and everything. I was about 8, 9 years old. Y'all about another bad loss away from. I could see if y'all were just fighting it out, like another game we gonna talk about later, and just happen to lose. But losing to Tom Brady with a 25-point lead, and y'all are a game away from losing a fan, and I am not playing. I'm serious. I love Atlanta, but it might be time after 53 years to get off the wagon and find something else. I love Atlanta, and I'm telling you, and it's not because Atlanta has been bad, but if they was at least trying. They're not even trying now. They're just like, well, let's go ahead and get through these 60 minutes and get these game checks. You know what I'm saying? And we all beat up at Magic City. I heard they got good wings. Anyway, do something. I'm about to go. I'm about to get my Herman Boone on. I'm gonna get my whistle. And I'm gonna come break my foot off of your John Brown hind parts, and then you will run a mile. I'm done.
Oh. Sorry. But I mean, you are tied for first. Sean is right.
That is a three-way tie.
Yeah.
Tied for first.
It's a three-way tie.
We tied to be the worst. We tied to be the worst best team in the conference. The worst. We tied to be the best team in the worst conference.
I'm just saying, you can still get into the playoffs though. You're not completely out though.
We ain't gonna win. We ain't gonna win. I'm calling it now. If we win the division, I will be shocked. I tell you what. I tell you what. I'm so very sure that the Atlanta Falcons are not going to win the division. Here's what I'm going to do.
Here's your cancellation, and look at him. At least you're not the Panthers.
Hell, the Panthers are actually trying. Atlanta is not. I am so sure that Atlanta does not win the division.
He's saying Sean will bet you that y'all get the division.
All right, Sean, I got you. I don't know what you're willing to put up, but this is what I'm willing to put up. I this year got back into my fitness routine. Now, as of late, work has really been whipping my butt, so I've been going, but I haven't really been getting a lot out of my workouts. I am so sure that the Atlanta Falcons are not going to win the division. That if the Atlanta Falcons do win the division, it's gonna have to be something I can record, and I probably have to do it live. I am going to do, because right now I can't do any more than about 40 push-ups consecutively, if that. I will do 50 regular hand U.S. Army standard push-ups, 50. I haven't done that many push-ups consecutively in about 15 years. I will do 50 regular Army standard push-ups live on Facebook if Atlanta wins the division. I am afraid to do that because I have a shoulder that just pops sometime when I go, I got a question. So I that's how sure I am that Atlanta is not going to win the division. And I am willing to put myself through some sort of physical torture.
Okay.
If they do.
Ooh, oh man, Anthony, 50.
I don't know what Sean. I don't know what you're willing to put on the table. Sean is you got a little less than a little more than a decade on me. I don't know if you want to do some push-ups. You could do something else if you lose. But if Atlanta wins the division, I will do 50 Army push-ups, and the last 10 I will do close hand.
Oh my God.
And I'm almost willing to guarantee I won't have to break a sweat nor do a single push-up. Now I'm done.
All right then.
Tina's like, are you sure?
I'm just letting you go.
All right then. It's on, I guess. Get it? All right. Well, there we go.
Oh,
I mean,
A bet was made. We'll see.
hey Sean, make sure you clip that. I don't know. You gonna have to clip it because it took me 3 minutes to explain the bet, and I know you like them little 30-second clips, and I like to talk a lot. But clip that and put it out there. That's right. You know something? I'm gonna tell you something. I might could do 50 push-ups. You know, Uncle Shay was hell when he was little.
Oh, here's
Come
his
on now.
part. This is what he'll
here's
do.
his part.
Here's his part of the bet. I'll come on the show and admit you know all in all sports, especially college football, and that the Bulldogs are the best team ever. And that's
You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. I never said I knew all things. I'm just telling you how bad Atlanta is. I don't think they're going to win the division. And that's how sure I am that they're not going to win. So I've been watching the Falcons be Falcons for a long time. You going to come on.
While eating a sub.
Wait a minute. You lose. If you lose, you so sure you're going to win the bet that if you lose the bet, you willing to come on here and lie?
And drinking a beverage. With some wings.
Oh,
let me tell you, that would be a lot, especially the Bulldogs part coming from a Tar Heels fan.
You got to get. Hey man, give me something else, bro. I ain't even gonna make. I'm not even gonna let you do that because I know. I listen. In comparison to Sean, I'm just gonna give you two names: Sean Spencer, Alex Loosemore. That is 95% of the football knowledge that ever existed on the face of the planet. The rest of us got the other 5% covered. Yeah. So you ain't got to come on here and I ain't gonna let you come on here and lie like that.
With that. Oh, there we go. Let's figure it out. We'll see. We're gonna see Handy doing 50 army push-ups. We shall see. Tina, let's go to you because it's kind of exciting over there in the AFC. It's kind of wild. There's like 5 teams that are 7-6, including your Denver Broncos.
I looked it up. I was wrong. It's 6. There's 6 teams tied at 7-6.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said like 5. I was close.
Yeah. It's all 5 plus Denver.
There we go.
Yeah. The game, it was against the Chargers, and the Chargers are going to charge. Like, just always something happens with that team, and they end up just shooting themselves in the foot somehow. But good game. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Saturday we're playing Detroit, so I want to see, did the Detroit team that showed up on Sunday show up, or is the Detroit team that showed up against the Chiefs gonna show up? So that'll be an interesting one. But yeah, it's the new thing with us is, can we win the AFC West? Sean and I kind of had a little bit of conversation. I personally think mathematically that Denver can't win the AFC West. We lost against the Raiders, and so it's just can't mathematically be done. But I do think we definitely have a very good shot at making the playoffs and stuff. Lots of things happened in that game that I liked. Troutman, we got him involved again. Cortland Sutton again had an amazing catch in the end zone from Russell Wilson. And unlike what happened in Houston, the defense really showed up and showed out. And even then, Stick was still able, the backup, if people don't know, Herbert came out. He's injured. He broke part of his hand. We'll see if he comes back. But Stick was in, and Stick had a better passer rating than Herbert did. Yeah, Sean's right. If the Chiefs lose 2 games, they have to lose 2, then we could mathematically either tie or win the division. But the schedule that the Chiefs have, they're playing the Chargers, they're playing the Raiders, and they're playing the Patriots. Unless the Patriots of this week show up and take out the Chiefs, I don't see that happen. So we'll see what happens with that one, but that would change the whole thing. And we'll talk a little bit later, but the Chiefs have some problems. They have some issues. Their wide receiver core is not what it's been like in the past. And I think that some people on the Chiefs their head coach and their QB are playing scapegoats with some of those guys. And instead of fixing the problem, they're trying to make scapegoats of other things. So, but yeah, it was a good game. I really enjoyed it. So on to Detroit, and hopefully we will be the only AFC West team that will have beat Detroit this year. So they've beaten all the other AFC West teams, and
Yeah.
Detroit has. So I'm Kat is going to be in town this weekend, and if she comes to the
Ooh.
Christmas party, I'm sure I'll have Christina and Kat in my face quite a bit about that. That'll be an interesting one to watch with those two. So I've already warned people at my party, like the game's coming on at 8:15, and like I've already decided at 8 o'clock I'm going to be like, who needs anything? 8:30, I'm done. Go into the kitchen and get it yourself. There's ice here. I'm done. So, but yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that game because it's going to be a big one. If we can win, I think we will go 4-0 the rest of the season. So I wish you could come too, Sean. Sean's talking about you. Wishes he
Yeah.
could come. Actually, Sean and I met at one of my beach parties. I had a party for 4th of July, and that's when I met Kat and Sean for the first time. So, yeah, it'd be nice if you could come, but I get it. So on to Detroit in my mind. So, yeah.
Well, if they do lose to your team, I'll be okay with that. But I need them to win out the rest of it because I want them to win the division in the NFC North.
Well,
I really am rooting
yeah.
for them to take the NFC North. It would be better than Minnesota, who, doesn't have quarterbacks. I mean, they do, but it's not Kirk. You know what I mean? I'm not no hate on Dobbs, but it's not Kirk. And honestly, Detroit hasn't won the division since Barry Sanders. So, so I'm hoping that, they get a chance. And I know the Twins would love it if the Lions could win the NFC North. I'm sure they'll be happy to see them in the playoffs. So, yeah. So, I hope that they do win at least the last few, if not, few of those games so that they can actually take the division officially,
Right. Well, Jefferson's out again.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. NFC North. No one there is going to the Super Bowl, I don't think. All right, so I guess I'll talk about the Bears now.
Yes,
I don't know. I don't know what happened. Listen, I believe in the players, and I've said that for a while. We have the talent. We really do. And I'm glad that they won these games. And I'm glad Justin Fields had a good game because it proves that he's not the problem. It's the inconsistency of how they use him because it is inconsistent. I want to remind everyone that when they would win games with him, they would come back and not do the same thing they did that got him the win before. Does that make sense? Like, for some reason, they decide to not run with those plays and play to his strength and go, hey, let's follow through. Let's get DJ Moore in, right? Makes sense. He's our number one receiver. We haven't been using him consistently or properly, And so DJ Moore got a touchdown. You know what I mean? So it was good to watch, and I'm proud of the players. Now, I still don't want to have Eberflus and Getsy back next season, even if they somehow miraculously win out the rest of these games and make the playoffs, because I will not forget that they had the longest losing streak in Bears history. And I will remind you that the Bears have been around since the inception of what we could think of the NFL. Like, they're one of the original teams, okay? And this is they had the longest losing streak in Bears history, and also just in the NFL counting from October to almost a year later. So I don't want that offensive coaching to come back. Getsy, if if Eberflus wants to stay as a defensive coordinator, because that's what he was good at, right? He did, you know what I mean? That's his bread and butter. And he did. The defense woke up and is doing a lot better last 2 games, right? I would admit that. He wants to, like, stay on as a DC. I'd be okay with that. But we still need a head coach who can be consistent and not fall back and not, and Getsy loves these screenplays and I just don't trust them for another season. I just don't. So please, even if my team wins out and makes it to the playoffs, I do not want Eberflus and Getsy to be the guys in charge of our offense. Because look at how long and what they did. Honestly, they demoralized our quarterback for a long time. They demoralized a lot of these guys for us. And I'm just happy that they won these, the games that they have. And even if they somehow win out the rest of these games and somehow sneak into the playoffs with that 7th seed because Green Bay lost to New York yesterday, then, I'm happy for the team, for the players. But I still don't want them back as the offensive minds. I don't. So I just want to put that out there. But I'm glad they won for the morality of those players because we have the talent. They're there. And I believe that even when we make playoffs because of Carolina, I believe we still have round 1 picks regardless. I believe is how that kind of works out. So that's kind of nice. So, yeah, happy for the guys. And I'm glad that Justin Fields is getting taken seriously. I truly believe he deserves another season, again, under the right people. That's it. That's my bottom line on that.
Because Stone Cold said so.
All right. And then the last thing before we move on to our next segment is what do we think about the backup QBs? We saw Anthony. Let's talk about the quarterback that you were really, really kind of proud of, and that's Mr. DeVito. Not Danny DeVito, the actor, but Mr. Tommy DeVito.
Danny DeVito has done wonders for Jersey Mike's public image as of late. I'm just saying. I mean, people thought his career was done when he did Taxi, and then Taxi went off the air. But then he started doing movies with Billy Crystal, throwing Mama from the Train.
Oh man, I love that movie.
And things like that. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I didn't even know who the hell Tommy DeVito was until they trotted him out on the field. After Danny Dimes got and it's funny. It's funny. Anytime I talk about somebody that's of Italian descent, I have a very good friend that is from Queens. He's 2nd generation Italian American from Queens, and I start doing the thing and the hands and all of this stuff. This guy, God, shut it off, Anthony. This guy, I mean, if you don't know who Tommy DeVito is, he's the backup quarterback for the Giants, and he's been doing some things over there. I mean, last night, in fact, when I saw who was playing last night, I said in my mind, without even thinking about it, Packers wins this one, Dolphins win that one. Boy, was I ever wrong. Tommy DeVito, that kid has man, seriously, he fights. He plays football with the energy of one of the last 3 animals trying to get on Noah's Ark, and it has started raining. That kid is out there. He's all over the place. I mean, he's the energy that he brings to that squad, and then the backstory with his family, who couldn't be more blue-collar Italian American if they tried. I mean, he's making great plays. His dad's in the audience. In the audience, his dad's out in the crowd going, and now yesterday with his agent, with the guy in the black with the gold chain, and the hat on the cell phone on the sidelines, like looking like an extra.
Central casting for a mafia movie.
It's like, and seriously, and then where do they play? In Jersey. Oh my God! It is. They
I
didn't
love
play in.
it.
They played in New York last night, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Meadowlands are in New Jersey. They're playing in Jersey. It couldn't be better. Get out of here. What are you talking about? You're crazy. I love this. I love this kid and what he brings. Like I love it's a different because we've been talking about Taylor and Travis all season, and
Yeah.
then the Chiefs are having a little bit of problems, and now all of a sudden this is the time of year where the teams that we thought were out of it teams are starting to wake up. Some of them will push through, some of them will fall a little short. This is a breath of fresh air. This is better than somebody sitting out because of a contract dispute or cussed out their coach. George Pickens on the sidelines
Yeah.
get
I
cussed
mean,
out by
Giants are
Mike
5-8
Tomlin.
now, right? Yeah, they're 5-8.
Yeah. Or 5-8. I thought didn't they?
Yeah, they're
No,
5-8.
yeah.
They're 5-8.
And it's a great feel good story for the NFL in a league that's just with the problems from the referees, this, that, and the third. I love it. I'm here for it. And I don't know if it's entirely sustainable, if it becomes another Brock Purdy story, or if he just is a flash in the pan.
Turns into Danny Dimes.
Yeah. Turns into they wind up giving him a big contract in a couple of years, whatever, you know. But
I think it's a fun story, but let's look at the teams he's beaten, though. He's beaten the Packers. He's beaten the Patriots. Like,
but still, I mean, you know what I'm saying? He's playing for the Giants, who at this point, right now, at this stage in their whatever they have going on,
they're rebuilding.
right alongside the Packers and the Giants. You understand?
Yeah.
The Packers and the Giants.
They
Alongside
have
the Packers and
a
the Patriots.
winnable game. They do have a winnable game coming up, against the Saints. Now, I love you, Nicole, and no hate, though. I'm not saying
Saints are a mess.
Right. So I'm not saying the Saints can't win that game. I'm just saying you're right, Handy. They play the Saints next, and that is a winnable game. It doesn't mean they'll win it, but they have a shot, right? They have a shot.
Yeah, I mean, even Saquon Barkley was like, "Oh snap! I'm supposed to run real fast when you hand me the ball." And now, granted, he did have that late fourth quarter fumble, but still, Danny Dimes. And then, of course, since we're talking about it, little did we know that 34 years ago, when this African prince got on the plane and flew to New York City for the first time ever in his life. And because he wanted to use the bathroom by himself for the first time ever, that he would predict the outcome of last night's game. If you guys are lost, do you remember coming to America?
Well, we got the clip somewhere, don't we?
And I think we have a clip. If somebody could roll that clip, please. It's a great clip from what happens to be my favorite movie. So
I don't know if it's on here. I wish I had it though.
Sean said he.
Here it is. Hold on. Ready. Sorry. He just added it. My fault. Here we go. You ready?
Oh my God.
Mr. McDowell.
What is it?
Sir, I was wondering if you happened to catch the professional football contest on television last night.
I didn't.
Well, it was most exhilarating. The Giants of New York took on the Packers of Green Bay, and in the end, the Giants won by kicking an oblong ball made of pigskin to a big H. It was a most gripping victory.
Son, I'm only going to tell you this once.
Yes.
If you want to continue working here, stay off the drugs.
Yes.
I want to know exactly what Mr. McDowell was working on because it wasn't a damn thing on that computer screen. I'm gonna have to work on my video making skills too. But boy, that lip sync was worse than a Tubi movie. I thought I was watching a double redone Bollywood feature. But yes, indeed, y'all. They're coming to America.
Ah,
That scene right
thank you for
there.
that.
Prince Akeem predicted that the Giants of New York would triumph over the Packers of Green Bay by kicking an oblong spear made from the skin of a pig through an upright edge.
That was good.
It's through the
Oh,
H
Yeah.
comment that gets me every time.
thank you for that, Handy, and thank you, Mr. Producer Sean, for adding that.
Listen, it's a good thing I pulled that because now this show won't get dinged for a copyright violation for using the real one.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh my
I did
God.
the yo.
Glad you got bored.
I'm gonna tell you what COVID. Y'all thought y'all was bored during COVID. Y'all see, right? And that was just a piece of it. Y'all got some of my co-hosts got to see some of the. I'm just sitting around having whole Eddie Murphy dialogues by myself. So
That was good. All right, then.
Anyway.
That was great. Tina, let's talk about the person. It's maybe not your favorites, but I like it because it's objective commentary. And so, what do we think about Joe Flacco? Are the Browns going to make him now their starter, right? Because we know they're having the same issues, injured quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
We know that the practice squad is temporary. Doesn't mean he'll stay there. Or will he sign with another team who also, right? We got a lot of teams out there that are in dire need of a quarterback. Or will he leave for more money, even though he says he's okay with the Browns? What do you think?
Well, the Browns came out and said that they were going to make him his quarterback. They just had to put him on the practice squad for administrative purposes. So I think he'll stay there. I mean, right now he's got a shot 4 games and he can help keep the Browns in the playoff picture. I think he's going to stay there versus trying to maybe take a shot somewhere else, at least at this point in the game. He'd be stupid if he went anywhere else right now.
maybe not. There's some teams really need some help real bad.
Yeah, but they're not
looking at you, Atlanta. Sorry.
Okay, someone has some issues he still needs to work out.
My therapist says I'm doing much better this week.
I think the Browns, I mean, they're in a better position. If they can win 1, 2, 3, and I don't even know who they're playing recently. I had a list of who they had coming up.
They play us next. It's a winnable game, even if we just won. If you know what I mean, like, so it's very possible for the Browns to beat us in this upcoming game, right? So it's a winnable game for them.
But you guys got a good secondary.
No, I know, but it's winnable.
Yeah. I think it is a winnable game for you because I do think even though the Browns have a very good defense, their offense is kind of in shambles. So, I mean, Chubb is their number one guy, and after that, it just kind of falls apart. And Flacco's not a very nimble quarterback. He's older, and he never was. He's not Lamar Jackson when it comes to trying to run.
Right.
So, I think you'd be stupid to go to anywhere else other than Cleveland, but I don't know if that team has enough if they get into the playoffs.
Right.
Depending on their seeding, if they get a favorable seeding to them, they might be able to win a game. I don't know if they would be able to go further than that. So, but the AFC West, like we've talked about, sorry, the AFC West, I keep saying that. The AFC is just craziness. So we're not going to know who's going to be in the playoffs until the final week, I swear.
I believe that too. Yeah, wholeheartedly. Yeah. But I agree with you. I think Joe is in a better position with the Browns. You're right. Even if other teams, because it's true, there are other teams in more, in dire needs. But I think you're right. As far as a shot at the playoffs, at least the Browns are currently like better for him, at least in that regard.
Right. Yeah. One we didn't talk about is what about Browning for Cincinnati?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not about him.
Like everybody assumed they were dead in the water, and Browning's done very well in the last 2 games. Another one that probably shouldn't have won, but did. So I was personally very happy because Colts losing helped my team.
Yeah.
But I'm also playing fantasy football, and I had Minshew and Pittman on my fantasy league. And I was like, all right, I need them to score high. Please.
Yeah, and they're both 7-6, right? The Bengals and the Colts are
Yeah.
7-6. They're one of
That
the 6
seems to
tied.
be the
Bills,
magic number this week.
Broncos, Bengals,
Yeah.
Colts,
Mhm.
and Texans, and there's another team that I'm forgetting right now. I think is it the Steelers? I think they're all 7-6.
They are. Yeah, that's what I mean.
So it's just kind of craziness all around right now in the wild card section of the AFC. But
Well, the AFC just turned out to be a lot different than what we thought it was going to be this season. I mean,
Yeah.
the teams that everybody said, okay, these 3-4 teams right here are just going to kind of come out and be ahead of the pack, and then these will
Yeah.
be middle of the pack. It's not like that. It's kind of everybody's right together. Like it's not. It's like I'm a huge track and field guy, so I use this analogy. If you like a distance race, you see a lot of people run together in the pack, and then you got the guys that are the rabbits out front. And rabbits basically lead the race, and then somebody will break from the pack, and then there'll be this big like 3-4 way challenge at the end. Right now, it is the third lap of the 1600 meter dash 1600 meter run, and the pack is all still tight
It is.
in the AFC.
yeah,
No, we'll see.
Which is going to make for some interesting. Yes, Sean, we know the
races.
race is not given to the swift.
True.
Yeah, you're welcome. I set that up just for you, sir. But yeah, that's where we are right now. It's this late in the season. You normally got these teams have pulled away. These teams are in the hunt, and it's not even the only team that's really out in the AFC is what the Ravens, I think.
Ravens are top.
Right
Ravens
now
are
because
1.
Miami lost. Yeah. Only 'cause Miami
Miami's
lost.
2.
Yep.
Chiefs are 3, and Jacksonville is 4.
Yeah.
But all that can change again because it really depends on who wins those division. Well, Ravens and Miami, I think, are okay. I think they're going to win their divisions.
Yeah.
It's the West and the South are.
It's the 1 and 2 that might flip.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
I started to say no, but then I was like, oh, what division are they in? Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Even with Tyreek being a little hobbled, they're still okay.
Yeah,
the Patriots are not catching the Dolphins.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's the 1 or 2 seed.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's. I think that's gonna go like you said, Tina. I agree. I think that it's gonna go towards that last week, and we'll actually know who gets that number 1 seed, who gets that 2 seed. With the Jaguars, as much as Cleveland won, they didn't have Trevor Lawrence. Although people are still okay with the backup quarterback, it wasn't like they beat him up, right? It was a high scoring game between both, so it wasn't like they just pumped out the Jaguars. So we'll see. When Trevor could come back, because they keep saying it's not season ending like some of the other injuries. So we'll see if he can come back. And honorable mention, Zappy did win his game, right? The Patriots did come back and beat the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay had a good run at the end there, right? They really did come back pretty fierce, and I thought they were going to win out, to be honest. I really thought, they'll get it done, but they just couldn't stop the run. That's what hurt them there in the fourth quarter, if anybody was watching. They couldn't stop that run, and they got, Giants got within field goal, and that's that. So
yeah.
Speaking of Bailey Zappi, big shout out to the man.
Sorry, Patriots played Green Bay as the Giants.
Well, they played. I forgot who they played when they won that game.
But Patriots beat. Sorry, I apologize. Sorry. But Patriots did win their game yesterday.
Yeah, but shout out to the man behind the scenes,
Steelers.
Mr. Sean Spencer.
They beat the Steelers. Sorry, Mr. Swinton. That's what it was. I apologize. They beat the Steelers.
When Mr. Zappi was still in school, Sean was telling me all about this kid named Bailey Zappi, and I had an absolute field day just behind the kid's name alone. And I was like, hey, I don't know if he's gonna do that, but I mean,
apologies for that.
He started throwing out his stats and stuff, and I was like, I don't know. Smaller school kid, we'll see. Now he's in a not so great situation right now in Foxborough. But he was impressive. He was impressive. He kept kept his head about him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I had to message him and say, your boy putting on a little show tonight.
But But yeah, you're right, Sean. I corrected myself as well. Thank you for that. I'm like, wait a minute. Wrong team. All right. So, all righty. Thank you for that. Anybody else want to chime in with these backup quarterbacks? What do we think? Can they sustain it? Um, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about these backup quarterbacks? Can these guys sustain it and get their teams into the playoffs? Those in the race, can they get them there? What do you think? We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. I mean, kind of like what I said, I think Flacco has the best chance to keep their team going into the playoffs. I'm still a little, even though I love Tommy DeVito's story and everything, I'm still one like what Sean said. It was Washington was the other team that he beat. Like the three teams he's beat, yeah, he's beaten them, but it's not been pretty. He's not quite Brock Purdy, like you referred to earlier. We gotta see what he can do. But he might have just given them enough to have well, I'll say that he's not going to take Danny's position from him. They just gave him an extension. He's coming back. There's no
Oh yeah,
doubt about
for
that in
sure,
my mind.
for sure. It's fun.
But
It's something fun. It's something that's fun to watch from all of the other crap that's just going on all around the league.
mhm,
It's fun to watch. It's like, oh my God. I mean, I know he's been out of the league for a while. I was like, oh my God, we're not talking about what did AB do this week, or you know what I'm saying, or who did what, or who got pulled over for drunk driving or whatever. It's
it's
fun. It's like you got this kid that nobody thought about that managed to get a spot on the team that's out there taking full advantage of the moment that he had. It might not equate to anything big for him in the future, but he's taking full advantage of the moment that he has. And that's kind of the thing that every coach, every football coach across the country preaches to these kids. If you work hard and you stay dedicated and you stay motivated and you work hard and you motivate, dedicated, you motivated, you can maybe you can make it to the NFL. You can make it to the NFL and be something. And this kid is he's taking full advantage of his 15 minutes.
yeah. And
All
it's
right.
also bringing, I know we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
It's also bringing exposure to programs that a lot of people know about and other ways that people have been able to get into the NFL, like with Beget from Shepherd and all these other places that you can find people that you can find talent anywhere. You just got to be able to do the time and do the look and, as Delilah said, find the right coach for him so he can do well. So, all right, I'm done.
All right.